What's up, guys? Welcome to the Mina channel, and today we're gonna be celebrating Persona 2, celebrating its 20th anniversary. 20 years since it's been out. This is an interesting thing because Persona 2 sits at a really interesting spot that other games aren't. And today we're gonna answer the question: should you play Persona 2? Now, this video is long overdue. You guys actually been very kind of reminding me over and over again, video after video after video. A lot of you have asked me frequently about this game and about my thoughts about it. So we're gonna talk about this and everything. Fair disclaimer: I haven't played this game in like 6 years, so I booted up just now to record some footage to it, so some stuff are more clear to me than other things. The story is definitely very clear, but let's go ahead and jump into this. So the duology of Persona 2 is an interesting thing because on gaming, Persona particularly, or Shin Megami Tensei, it is really rare that we actually get a sequel or a continuation to a game within the games. Usually the games are like one shot and then they're kind of done, although the games in some kind of way are connected together because of the Shin Megami Tensei timeline, or the Persona timeline if you want to break it apart or something. It's still very interesting. Particularly, Persona 2 is a game that is so hard to talk about without talking spoilers because a lot happens, and there's a whole explanation as to whether it's a second game, which I don't really want to get into because it is definitely part of the shock and part of the way of playing the game and everything. So let's go ahead and talk about the gameplay and a little bit about the story. The Persona 2 itself is a continuation to Persona 1. I will say it's a direct sequel to it in a sense, since there is characters from Persona 1 showing up over here. However, you do not have to play Persona 1 to understand Persona 2. Like other Persona games, it is a standalone kind of game, standalone with Persona 2, Innocent Sin, and Eternal Punishment, but they're standalone games which you can play by themselves, so you don't actually play the first one. However, the story rolls around Tatsuya, who is a high school student. One thing that I found really interesting about this game is how they are able to kind of triangle little things. There's a lot of things that happen prior to the actual game, so I can see why some people will be confused, but don't worry, like everything gets explained. So Tatsuya unlocks the Persona power, and now with your power and your friends who are also there, you have to fight this mysterious entity known as Joker, who is causing all kinds of havoc and everything, as well as this other events going on around that, and the use of rumors becoming true, becoming bad things, and things are happening. And you can take that as an advantage as well, because it's something that happens in the game and it's pretty cool. Rumors play a really important gameplay aspect as far as what it is and as far as the story itself, because it's shaped about how the rumors are coming into through. And there's, for example, serial killer that is on the run on the second game, and it's kind of like the mystery of what's going on and everything like that, as well as some of the other elements regarding the rumor system, which is a part of a system where you create a rumor, the rumor becomes true as more people believe it to be true. That is a really interesting concept, and I think that overall it works really well for the story that I'm trying to tell. Again, the games, like other Persona games, have a lot of twists and turns. This one particularly, I'll say, out of all the Persona games, this one probably has the best storyline by itself. It has a really compelling characters that you meet throughout the story, really interesting set of people that definitely are more than meet the eye. The second part of the game, you play as Maya, who is a reporter who was a party member on the original game. However, you get to see now another perspective, which is her perspective, as you kind of uncover the truth behind what's going on at the time. Again, interesting concept for a game. It does a lot for the series in many different kind of ways. I will say this game particularly will benefit from a remake or a remaster. More people should definitely check out this game. I think that this game does have definitely a lot of good stuff for the story itself. Now let's talk a little bit about the gameplay, because the gameplay, I think, is one of the things that I actually don't like about this game. As much as I talk so much about how good this game is, the gameplay to me is very rough, and it is actually almost so hard to get into once you play something like Persona 3 or Persona 4 or even Persona 5 that really kind of shape the gameplay in a different kind of way again. The game involves more of the same aspects that you already know from the Persona games, but in a really weird sense. The game itself just doesn't play the way other Persona games will play, or doesn't play the way other Shin Megami Tensei games will play, which in the sense I kind of get it, because they were trying to go for a different kind of vibe and aspect, which they definitely nailed it. It's still very through and through a SMT game, but it does have its own unique flavor to it and everything, and you can clearly see that here. It's a very unique game and a very unique experience. However, again, the gameplay particularly doesn't click for me. I don't think that the gameplay is particularly good. It's not hard, it's just different in a different weird kind of way. The demon fusion system is also different. It involves these cards that you collect, and when you're negotiating with demons, they actually just give you a card. They kind of join you sometimes, and you also have these cards where you can go into the Velvet Room and have a painter make a new card for you. It's all tied into a tarot system, which you already know from the previous games. So what is different from this game opposed to the other Persona games? This game is very different because there is no social calendar, there's no social system to it. You do still talk to your friends, and you still have conversations with them, and you still have things to do with them as you're involved through the story. However, there is no side characters. It's all about the main character party members and everything that you're involved with. And that is not bad. It's just a different experience and everything. So if you're looking for the all anime waifu experience where you kind of date the girls and do shit like that, that's obviously just really not here at all, which is fine, again, because I don't play the games for that particularly, but I know some people that care about that and go for that kind of stuff. This game just doesn't go for that. Again, it still has really good character development. The writing is really good. I think this game has probably some of the best characters in the series. Tatsuya, for example, is a really enigmatic character, and his relationship to his brother Katsuya, who also you meet later on in the story, it's very just interesting, including how different Maya and Tatsuya are as main characters and everything. So character interaction and character development is great in this game. Again, it's just not the way that they portrayed on the other Persona games. Still a really good game. I think going through both games is the best course of action. Playing just one game won't really give you anything, because the full story is the two games where you kind of get what actually happening and everything, because there's a lot of twists and turns in this game. I think that this game does so much for that part of the game and everything, which is so bizarre, because usually you play a game, it's kind of like, okay, so, and then you play a sequel to a game, but this is the duology just works so well together as a whole one game, which is again entirely different from like Persona 5 to Persona 5 Scramble, which is just a sequel. You know, Persona 5 still works stuff by itself, but Persona 2, Innocent Sin, and Eternal Punishment they go hand in hand together to make a whole game. Anyway, that is pretty much in this video here, because I'll say yes, you should play this game if you're interested on the retro Persona games or Shin Megami Tensei games. I think you should be aware of how different the gameplay is, because it's something that I see some people go really disappointing on, and that's okay. It's okay for the game to be different. It's okay for you not to like the game if you find it to be different. And again, that's pretty much it there, because everybody has a different experiences with games, but I particularly like it. I think that it sets itself apart from the other Persona games in a good way. It's not as formulaic as the other Persona games. It's a very unique experience, and I think that on its own merits, it's a really good game, and you should definitely check that out. If the gameplay was better, I'll say this is probably the best Persona game. And I don't mean that just because I wanted you to play this game, but because it legitimately has some really good aspects to it that I enjoy. The gameplay is not one of them, again, but characters and the actual story is phenomenal. Anyway, that is pretty much it for today, guys. If you're new, please consider liking and subscribing. Let me know what is your favorite Persona game, how you played Persona 2, how you played Persona 1, because I do have some of the same issues with gameplay, although the gameplay was changed a little bit from Persona 1 and 2. Anyway, that's it for today, guys. I'll see you guys next time.